Greetings, travelers. Come on in, take a seat. Welcome to the Red Hair Inn. I am your innkeeper, here with these wonderful folks that I call my friends to tell you a tale in the lands of Ecriom. Um, Thank you, Steph, for starting us off on the right foot.
Yes,
Um, Before we get
cojones.
into tonight's session, we're going to go quickly around the horn. Um, and that way we know who everybody is and who everybody is playing, and then we'll get into tonight's killing of Megan's character. Uh, I'm kidding. They can decide what they want to do, and hopefully Megan will live, or Thynrith will live. But let's start, as we always do, with Taryn.
Hi, my name is Taryn, also known as Valrook across the socials and in the chat. And yes, balls. Um, I will be playing Eden of the Briar, who has been betrayed by my meta sister. So I don't know how I feel about that yet. We'll decide. I will take it out on her later by playing numerous pranks. But right now we're playing Eden, and we don't know if we want to be an archfey and who we gotta betray to get there. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, Megan.
Sorry, hi. My name is Megan. I am Taryn's sibling. I play D&D sometimes with the peoples here. I do a lot of different like concept art and character art. You can find me at the art nerd with underscores in between all of those words. I'm not gonna list it out because that gets ridiculous. And yes, Taryn has been talking nonstop shit to me at work and at home about betrayal. So, yeah, that's good.
As someone who was also a betrayer a while ago, I understand and sympathize with how you feel now. But hello, everyone. I am Utahime. I play everyone's favorite cinnamon bun, cinnamon roll, Fanar Valar. And she was very nice to Thynrith. Just saying, she doesn't deserve this. Passing it along.
I guess that's me next. Hi, everyone.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
Eddie.
back in normal order, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Eddie, known across the socials and in the chat as Discount Bard. And I'm here today as our lovely little butterball of a goblin artificer, Art. Who is going to be very confused as to what's going on.
All right, I'm Lizzie Donahue. Tonight I will be playing Oak, where she will finally find out what happened to her sister and hopefully will be able to end this amicably. She's not having a great feeling about that right now.
And it's Jaden King. I am Corvus Knocked for Wormhaven, the problem child of this group. I can punch it, and it will happen. Set it all on fire.
All right. Well, where we last left off, after defeating a pair of Remoras that were about to attack Oak's mentor and father figure, Owlbear, you see a quick reunion between the two before Owlbear departs to head back to the Alice of Lilithal and fight the good fight against the Zenthirum Empire. The rest of you are beginning to devise a plan when you notice a pair of fairies clinging to the ceiling of the cave that you guys have taken a short rest in. Quickly bounding after them in an attempt to scare and catch them, you find a third individual, an Eladrin named Thynrith, who begins to lead you to the palace of the Winter Queen. After some brief interrogations and questionings, you manage to avoid a group of werewolves to Eden's delight and begin to descend down a staircase that winds around the outside of this canyon that separates the palace from the rest of the winter Feywild. You find a tunnel and sheet of ice, an underground passage that leads you up through the bowels of the palace until you reach a series of rooms. The first, a waiting room of sorts, looking into a chamber where hundreds and hundreds of glittering shards of ice dangle from, like chandeliers from the ceiling above. As you make your way in, Oak begins to sense out for the presence of her sister. With Corvus's help, connecting with several of these crystals and finding the stories behind the individual's demise who lives within them, until finally finding Ivy. Extending out, the connection growing stronger and stronger until glancing toward the staircase that leads up into this balcony level that overlooks these shards. You see an individual dressed in fine, almost ice color, these like opaque blues and teals, the colors of frozen ice, long white hair, a small crown of ice across his head is like thorns, a shard in his hand. He welcomed you, and in that moment thanked Theinrith, who in a flash moves from being by your side to being by his. And that's where we left off.
So Oak is roiling with emotions, having seen all of these people being stabbed over and over again, as she stares with probably just horror on her face at this man who walked in, wondering what possible motivation he could have for killing all of these people. And in her head, she's just like, she is trying to restrain herself. So she takes a step forward, like sort of brushing off Corvus's hands, and bows. And in Sylvan says, "My salutations to the Frost Prince. May your reign be ever cold."
Head tilt from Eden.
We come into you in peace. And then in common, she says, "It seems that you have business with us, and you know what my business is with you. This will save us a lot of time. I hope we can solve things amicably." And Oak stretches out a hand.
As you speak in Sylvan to the Frost Prince, go ahead and give me an insight check.
All right. I mean, I know he did mention the queen will be pleased, so that's a good roll.
Report to mommy.
17.
When you say the word rain,
Oh, that's true. He's not the
when
monarch.
when you say the word rain, there's this almost look of disgust on his face, and he looks down at your extended hand. I don't sit on a throne, nor will I ever. For you to think that
I'm so sorry. That was terribly clumsy of me.
Is this by choice?
It is not by choice. It is by decree of my mother. The Frost Court is a matriarchy.
What I, of course, meant is to extend my salutations to the court in general.
He turns to you, Theinrith. Well, the court has taken notice. Now, what business do you bring, and how can we amicably resolve the situation that we're in?
Well, I think you realize the shard specifically you hold is one that my friend Oak here has been seeking, so you clearly have something we want, yes?
Well, yes. It seems, and he like holds it up and looks into it for a second. It seems that I do, yes.
Then appropriate orders or arrangements should be made then of what is there a favor that you are seeking, trade, usually tit for tat, yes?
He looks toward you again, Theinrith. What do you think We play the game of bartering with them.
They do seem to have some sort of knowledge. According to them, they have something that's very important to us, or could be.
Well, in good faith then, let's hear it.
Speak.
Oak is going to just slowly look at Eden like, I can't ask you to do this for me. It's gotta be.
Eden will step forward. I do have possible information, something of Whispers of Winter's Night. But I'm sure you understand that this information then is not to be taken lightly, nor is it invaluable, and I cannot release such information of value without some sort of promise.
And what promise would that be?
That you will return what you have in your hand to the rightful owner, being Oak's sister, that she can return to life. With her family, no twists, no turns.
I have no quarrel. No problem with granting that request, but it would have to be done after my assessment of whether or not what you have to say is honestly truthful and will actually come to pass.
Well, I could tell you steps have been taken. I can tell you that someone who was once imprisoned has seen the light of the other side of this prison recently. I know the locations of these places, among other things. But I also am no fool at the end of the day. I would be risking my own life also in sharing this. So if there is added benefit to the promise of my vitality, would be appreciated.
If you find our information worthy, there's one other thing we'd like to know if possible.
And what would that be?
I glance sort of at Finara and then back at the Frost Prince. The Lord of Bones is looking for someone. We have a deal with him to try and find out some information that could lead to finding this person. Specifically, someone he cared for deeply who disappeared from the Summer Court.
I see. That information is most unfortunate. He's been trying for very long now to figure out what's been missing. To know it's a person. That person's from the Summer Court, and serves him right. Dabbling with the other courts and the other fae.
Whether or
Why
not
is
he
this-
deserves what happens, we just need the information for our own purposes.
Why
One of
the
our companions
division?
died.
Why the division? Well, when one side thinks that they're better, and the other thinks they're better than the side that think is better, quarrels tend to break out. Fights, they start small at first, and then ideas grow, and, well, you know how war goes.
And gray.
The gray is a happy coincidence.
Is this why you don't like the people of the Grang as well, then? They're not allowed anywhere because they couldn't pick a side?
I tolerate the folk of the Grey that are from our domain. It would behoove me not to. There are folk who do good, but they're outsiders. They don't understand our ways anymore. They don't understand why we do what we do to protect those in the Winter Court, protect those in the Fall Court from those Sealy Fae.
All of this to being said, is the information pertaining to the Lord of Bones something you would be willing to share? On any facet?
I could, yes.
Is there a price? I'll pay it. That's my brother that they're talking about in trouble.
Well, you have a sibling problem, and I guess I could use your help settling a sibling problem as well.
What would be the price? All of the above? Or is the
We
sibling
could-
problem for a sibling problem?
We can take this into consideration of all the arrangements in which we are speaking of.
Can I ask why you had us brought here?
That's
Well-
a good
We
question.
were on our way anyway. I just seems like
Originally, it was to hopefully cut the head off the snake a little. I wish to, if I'm being honest, present you, and he looks at you, Oak, to my mother as a gift. Hope to raise my own status a little over my sisters.
would you care to elaborate on, I mean, I don't want to say I have poor self-esteem or anything, but I can't imagine why it would be a gift to the queen, or
One.
do you mean all of
No, just you. I was planning on killing the rest.
Well, I'm
Progress.
glad we found a more amicable solution to
Like
that.
reaches for the shoulder and kind of stretches like, Mike, please give me a reason.
Notice he said planning, not going to.
I
Is everyone
appreciate
insistent on
that.
killing us?
I don't think there are people that would be very happy about that.
About
Also,
you.
too, Oak is not a gift. Oak is a person, an individual. You can't just.
I
give
want
someone
to say
one.
Oak looks just the tiniest bit crestfallen when you say she's not a gift.
But then you have to hear the rest of it. You're a
I
person,
did.
an individual.
Yeah,
So then
yeah.
hopefully that changed the. That's what I meant. You are a gift to the world. You know what I meant.
Thynrith, when you speak up about that, like when you speak up, he kind of gives you a little bit of a side glance. You're right. Oak is much more than a gift. She's one brave enough, foolhardy enough to risk her life to come here to save the life of someone she cares for. Yes.
I want to inside check that side glance.
Sure.
I
I wanna
also
know if
want
the-
to insight check what the fuck he's talking about.
My entire goal is just to determine that side glance. Was it one of those like looking down on Thynrith or like a respect towards Thynrith? I'm trying to gauge that
go for
level of. Let's see, insight. Don't mess. I need this insight.
I rolled a
if-
natural 20 on insight of why he thinks that I would be of any particular worth.
I got a 17 for levels of respect for Thynrith.
Um, 17. I'll handle this 17 first. It was definitely it was a slight like why are you speaking out of turn? Um,
I thought so.
and then for you, Oak, um, I don't know how much I could.
Just give us
that's
the
a,
whole
it's a
plan.
Okay.
weird it's a
Here,
weird
let
it's a yeah. Go ahead.
you know what? Since I have said in the past that Oak thinks she might be related to the person that the Lord of Bones is looking for, do I feel like did I what
Like
maybe
that
when
could
I
be it.
mentioned
Like
that
that could be
thing
a
before, did I see anything like is like that maybe coming to my mind again?
okay. Um,
I
I
was
think
also
it's
raised in the
yeah. I
thing,
think it would
the
be a combination
okay.
of. I think it would be a combination of that. You get a sense that he thinks you're somebody that's more important than you think you are.
Right.
Um, and well, you are like backdooring your way into the palace of the Winter Queen, so that takes some balls. So there is a bit of that like respect of like, all right, you're trying to come in here and do this, and if he could thwart you and capture you and bring you to his mother, it would be a huge kind of uplifting of him personally within his family.
Hmm.
Um, question. Um, so you are indeed wanting to gain in stature over your siblings. So you want us to assist you in something with your sibling. In many ways, I'm also in a similar boat and kind of would like to rise to the ranks and overcome some stupid crap because people are just frankly quite awful. So I'm seeing prime opportunity for everyone, yeah? Oak, if
Right.
we're able to.
I was just wondering, I'd still like to know exactly what's special about me that you think that I would be like, but if
Wow,
I
wow,
understand,
so I'm sorry guys. I went to go look something up and my ADHD literally just like zoned
sure.
out.
Oak is sort of
Oak's still
like
trying to
feeling very uncomfortable and is like, uh, I'd I'd still like to know exactly who I
Because
am to you. Uh,
it's
if I
really.
perhaps
Mhm.
understand that, I can um make a decision about what I can offer you.
and then Eden, what did you say? Because I completely didn't hear a
Basically
single word
was
you said.
yeah, basically Eden was along the lines of like, okay, so you want to grow in stature. I would also like to grow in stature.
Mm,
It looks like Oak is interested, so it looks like we can come to an arrangement more or less like, okay, so let's
yes,
talk about what this is.
cool. Um, yes, I think you, and he looks at you, Oak. For you to do something this brash, all for your sister, you said, um, without any knowledge of what you were up against, what you were really facing. Takes heart, takes courage, a sense of foolhardiness, but more importantly, takes love. It is something that we do not get enough of here. And it is something, when presented to my mother, she absolutely drinks up.
That sounded ominous. I don't say that out loud, but
You,
How close are Art and Corvus and Oak to
you,
Fenara?
you, you guys are all probably within a good, like, maybe 10, 15 feet of each other, and you guys can move. Like, there's not any, as long as you're not like making aggressive behavior, he's not gonna respond aggressively.
Okay, there will be a moment where Fanara is like, it almost seems like, you know, Fanara is just kind of like comforting in a way, like as far as like with Art, probably a pat on the shoulder, and then like throughout this conversation, kind of moving between the three, and like Oak might feel like a kind of sudden tap, and Corvus would feel the same. Yeah, definitely Fanara is not feeling comfortable, so she's making sure that they're bonded. And then kind of just like trying to be subtle about it, so just kind of seeming like she's just nervous and trying to play it off.
Okay. You ask about the Bone Lord. I can provide you some information about who you may need to look for. You ask about your sister. I can provide you with her shard and with means of restoring her once you get back to her body. But I need you to help me kill my sisters.
All of them.
Oh no, that would be far too great of a task for the six of you.
That's kind of where my brain was going. No offense, you guys. That's not what I meant, but
Because they are endless in a way. No, there are 3 troublesome sisters who are at the top of it all. That if you were to, I don't know, turn them into puddles, would surely send a message of my strength to the rest of my sisters. They would need to know it's coming from me, of course, which is why Thynrith will be accompanying you.
I'm amenable to this.
If you could just help me wrap my little mind around this request, especially since you spoke so highly of Oak and Oak's character for wanting to save a sister, and you're wanting to kill 3, and I'm wanting to save my brother as well, and you were aware of that.
Can't say I wasn't thinking along the same lines as Venara.
Remember what I told you before we came here about the struggle for...
Make a, Fanara, make an insight check.
Also,
And-
is this a Fae thing, or is there a specific means for turning them into puddles?
Oh, no, it was
You
An
say
analogy.
inside?
yes, please. It was an analogy,
That was-
my friend.
That was a 26.
26. Cool. Give me a sec.
Now to see if we can get him out of this without Eden having to spill the beans. Since we just wants a few assassinations, we can do that. That's fine. I'll kill somebody before I gotta spill beans.
You are spilling beans, just somebody else's beans.
That's fine, but I don't have to spill my personal beans. I just hold on to that knowledge and then have further plans down the road.
Oak, meanwhile, is in the background thinking, it can't just be that I have a good heart because Finar is right there. Just feeling a little.
Oh.
Can I make another insight check to see if I feel like he's equivocating a little bit?
Sure.
The 12.
Oh. Could it be that, interesting.
I didn't say that out loud. I'm just thinking.
Bernard said all of what but she's looking at the person in front of her, and she's kind of looking like she's like figuring out something.
So,
You certainly are a complex individual. That's for sure.
Most of us who live here are, my dear.
Would you be willing to have general conversation probably post this? Not necessarily for either gain, just so much as to fill in blanks in history?
This is what I say here is not binding under Fey law.
That's fine. And just have some general questions and conversation.
If I find your company amusing, then maybe we can have conversations after this, yes.
So much. It's fine. As Eden will be like, kind of like, will like wipe, like the front of their cape and everything off. All right, point me in the direction of who we're supposed to, terminate.
May we impose upon your hospitality to rest first?
Oh, that is also smart. You see, we did expend energy previously.
How long do you wish to?
I feel as though a brief one would be acceptable, right? Or do we need... I know that some of us...
I have a question.
I mean, I was thinking a longer rest personally, but
I have a question.
Yeah,
if we do the
go
long
ahead.
rest, everything gets way harder.
Because of the fact that I do forget, with sending, does it have to be out loud or can it be from mind to mind?
No, I'd let you do mine to mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Banara wants to cast sending on the prince.
Interesting.
For none
Okay.
of the people to hear.
You have 25 words. If you'd like to message it to me, you may.
Yes.
Because he can respond in kind back to you.
All right.
All right. If you wish to rest, you may remain here. I must warn you, though. My mother has been waiting for a spirit much like your sister's for a while now. Now that she has one. That fire that your sister has would work very, very well for her. To have a daughter by her side so easily riled up.
wait, these crystals get turned into...
This is a problem.
And he looks. I thought I told you to tell them everything.
I wasn't sure how they would take it. My apologies.
Ivy's never even been anywhere cold before.
Take 6 points of psychic damage, Theinrith.
Yeah, I noticed this interaction.
Oh yeah, it's very yeah. There's almost like that anime glare, and then a quick kind of flinch from Theinrith.
Telepathically, Theinrith will hear from Eden. I thought you said you enjoyed this place. And before you try to speak back to me, know that this is a one-way street. But I do find it odd that you would be punished as such for showing compassion.
I will message back to Eden.
In order to cast message, reminder that you have to, you have to speak.
Oh, you do.
It's a whisper that only
It's a
they can
it's
hear,
a whisper,
but
and you're standing right next to. Yeah.
No, I will not say anything.
As Eden is sitting there
She just suddenly
yeah, I was going to say Theinrith is achoo!
Anyway.
I approach the Frost Prince. Can I hold that? And I point at the ice that presumably contains Ivy.
Once again.
That's making me
Other
Uh,
back communications.
I
hold
will
that.
permit you to touch it. Yes, and he holds out his hand toward you.
Okay, I put my hand on it. I want to see what happened to her.
All right. Your vision snaps to, and you see a jungle. Your home. You see the shore right past, like the shoreline, right past the edge of the trees. A handful of soldiers on either side of this vision that you're seeing, kind of third person, or first person. Boats land. Few dozen what look to be Xantherum soldiers come walking onto the beach and making their way toward the forest. And right before they reach where the sand touches the growth there, you hear a cry from your sister. And the body that you are looking through, which now, judging by the height and size, the fact that you are the one that screamed is your sister herself, charges into, immediately starts blow after blow taking out Xantherum soldiers, along with that handful of other soldiers that she has at her disposal. This goes on for maybe about a minute or two before you see from the boat these darts being shot at by crossbow. Now, most of them are bolts with a tip that is made of ice, until she finally turns and tries to make her way to that individual and gets hit in the chest with one. This one, different from the others, almost looks as if it was thrown or tossed and impaling itself into her shoulder, above her heart. And in that moment, everything goes black.
But I couldn't really see who it was.
Make a perception check.
It was Theinrith.
15.
15. You can see a tiefling. Skin color very much resembles, or very closely resembles, that of Fanara's. This like very, very light, like opaque blue, right? Or like the hues of her dresses, sorry, apologies, and her cheeks. But this very, very pale blue, the horns come up into these tips that are these like dark purples. And they're wearing what looks to be some sort of, like, almost like they're hiding, like they're this cowl cloak over whatever their armor is. As they lift up and shoot from the crossbow, you notice that there is a patch, like right there on their chest, that looks to be the emblem of the Xantherum Empire. In particular, one who would be within the Shifting Dunes, who are like the special operations of the Xantherum.
Okay.
Make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh, good. 11.
11. As it fades to
Wait, I get
black,
advantage, right? Because of the protective bond? Or do I?
you get a D4, I believe, is what is added.
Should see what I can get. 15.
You hear very briefly Oak. Or, well, I guess no, it wouldn't be Oak, it'd be Orchid. Is that you?
Ivy? Yeah. I'm coming for you.
How are, and there's this small, like, little faint moat, this little, like, tiny circle almost on the far end of your vision. How are you here?
It's a really long story. I'm in the Feywild. I'm in the Winter Court. We're gonna get you out of here. We're gonna go home, okay?
Am I dead?
No, you're not dead. You're just suspended in ice. It's kind of crazy.
What's that? What the hell does that even mean?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't understand how magic works either. You got hit with a shard of ice, it trapped your soul or something.
Damn.
Yeah, right? Even though I've seen snow for the first time. It sucks.
Wait, hang on. You got to see what? Snow? Like, the fuck? Where the?
Like I said, I'm in the Winter Court.
I don't even know what that means, but I mean, I do, but.
Come on, we were in the Spring Court.
Damn.
Catch up.
I know. Oh my god, hang on. Did you see? Have you? I should have listened to you.
I should have gone with you.
No, I think you'd be just like me if that would have happened, probably.
Well, we're gonna go home, okay?
Hey.
I love you.
If you can't, and at this point you can see that light grows a little bit bigger and you can see the outline, almost like a shadow of this short goblinoid or short goblin on the far end of your vision. You can't make out any features, but just the shadow. If you can't get me out of here, that's okay. You gotta live.
I'm gonna get you out of there, though.
Don't end up
I'm
like
a big
me.
sister, okay?
All right, but no, for real, promise me. Promise me, if you have to choose, you choose you.
Yeah, I'm not making that promise.
All right.
We're both getting out of here. We're both going home together. There's no point in making a promise I don't need to, okay?
And you can see, like, just the shadow kind of turn and hold up a hand as if to wave goodbye. And as the hand begins to wave, the shadow and that light kind of fades, and your vision comes back too as you're now standing in front of, or, well, still standing in front of the Frost Prince. This all happens within, like, to you guys, it's she touches it and then it's back. So there's not much continuity-wise that really happens. Satisfied.
Yeah.
Good. Take your rest. Take what you need. Take the time you need. Yes, Corvus.
During this time, Corvus would just like to be doing whatever it takes to scan this man and determine, in the most roundabout way, I can think of a better way to say it, his power level. I'm trying to gauge his strength.
You can make.
We're pulling a shield hero moment.
I'm
On
trying
a
to.
scale of
make
1 to 20.
Make an insight check.
Inside. Do.
Will Diners be staying with us, or does Diners have to follow the heel?
Feinrith can stay with you if she wishes, and when you are ready to depart, she will notify me, and then I can give the valuable information of where my sisters are and how you can dispatch them.
21.
21. Just looking at him and how he holds himself, like, he holds himself in a very regal, like, he holds himself with, that kind of chest up, puffed out bit of air to him. But it's not like a cocky air of, like, I think I'm better than you. It's more of, like, that, like, Thanos air of, like, I know I can kill you, and I'm not going to.
Oh, hold on, I gotta roll something.
God damn it,
God
Corvus.
damn it. I said the word Thanos, and Corvus is like,
You
well,
did.
now I gotta kill him.
Corvus will hold back, clench fists, lip bit.
I just pictured Corvus being like,
Exactly. Just, that'd be a fight. But that is all. Corvus does nothing.
Okay, guys. How long are we going to rest here?
He goes down the stair, or he goes back up the stairs and toward the room. Or no, he goes down the stairs and back toward that like waiting room that you guys were originally in before you went into the chamber with all of the shards.
does Steinrith stay?
Yeah.
Are you muted?
Couldn't hear you.
Oh yes. No, she's standing there.
Oh, okay.
The prince just walks out.
He walks into that waiting room and you can see there's like a kind of this like small lounge couch that looks through like on the far wall that looks through the window that you then can use as a like a viewing window for the room with all the shards, or the room you guys are currently in. And he sits down for a moment, just kind of watching, waiting.
Did you have something to say earlier? You looked rather flustered. Steinrith.
Who are you? Steinrith.
No.
So is that the common occurrence where you get zapped by him or whatever whenever you don't do exactly as he says? Or is that the part that you like about being in the court?
To what are you referring?
Apparently when he, like, you made this little gross, like, ouchy face whenever he said something about, you're supposed to tell them everything.
No, that was a mistake. That's
All
all.
right. But that's, okay.
This probably isn't the time to pick a fight.
I'm not trying to pick a fight. I'm trying to open minds here. You know,
I can't fight. No one can.
I'm not fighting. Okay,
Well, we're gonna be
I saw
fighting
the way you
soon.
looked. We are. Anyway, my whole point was, maybe if it's enlightenment, maybe, maybe sometimes people are tired of being pawns of people that are more powerful than them and telling them what to do and then acting like they matter, but they don't really matter. And, maybe I'm projecting. And then Eden's just gonna sit down as we are entering angsty Eden phase. Our angsty Eden era.
Corvus will head over to Thynrith, and in a not hostile pose as Corvus is known to be in, will just put out like a hand of like a formal like, my apologies for being abrasive earlier.
Sorry, I understand. I can be a bit abrasive as well. And I will reach my hand out.
And Corvus sends 8 points of healing. Healing hands.
Corvus, it's at this moment, Eden, as you go to just kind of take a seat and begin your rest, the two of you notice that Finara has casually slipped off into that waiting room. Where she's now sitting. Would you sit beside him, or would you like pull up a chair and sit across from him, or how would you?
No, I think that Finara trying to not be noticed by the group while they're having this discussion with Thynrith is kind of in this. I imagine there's like probably other not I don't know what type of things are on the wall, or like she's kind of just casually kind of like trying to play it cool. So she probably has her hands behind her back and she's kind of like looking
at the art,
glancing, and then glancing to see if like, okay, did I go unnoticed? Did like, am I now clear before kind of turning her full attention to the prince?
I mean, if Eden does see that, like at that point, like if she's already down there, Eden is just going to calmly walk over Like we're not going to be like, "Oh, Finn, what do you do?" It's very much like an observation. Like Eden is back to kind of before whenever Lord of Bones convo was happening on. Like we're just like hands off, just watching.
You so this is a completely other room, right? There's like a door that goes into it. Um Fenari, you notice that Eden and like you have Eden and Corvus's attention, like they can see you through the window. Um the Lord of Bones is just kind of like got this like half smirk on his face of like you're trying to be like sly as you come into this room and like start this conversation with him, but it hasn't gone like the way that you thought. And Eden, as you go to like grab the handle to open the door to go into that room.
Oh
Oh
no,
no, you
I'm
don't even
not.
go that far.
No,
No.
Eden would stop, like make contact, like would look at Finara very like kind of knowingly, and then we'll literally just sit back. Like we are not. This is
Cool.
Eden is very much in the. This is your business. Like I've had to have conversations. You have your conversation. It's just kind of one of caution, making sure that nothing happens to Finara. Like there is no aggression towards Finara, if that makes sense.
I
What
think
is
that
No, that
if
makes sense.
Fanara locked eyes with Eden, it would just be like a nod, like she's fine. It's kind of like just like an acknowledgement of like, okay, I've been caught, but it's fine.
how we're doing?
Just having a quick conversation, Art. Did you see those books over on the shelf?
I did. I haven't gone to take a look at them yet, even though curiosity is definitely very much intriguing me. But I wanted to ask you first. Are we sure that this is the best way for us to get what we're looking for?
No, not entirely, but this is one that we can do without putting my life on the line in a greater facet.
I would definitely very much appreciate that option, yes.
Because the reality is, if I do share those secrets, it could be dangerous, but maybe that's what Finara's doing. Maybe Finara is bartering further. We just have to see what she says when she comes back, eh?
I mean, I understand, and I'm willing to do whatever we need to do to get what we want and make sure that no one else gets hurt. At least, well, of us. I mean, obviously we are going to have to hurt others, but if that's what we have to do, then I suppose there's no other way around that. But I just want to make sure that this is what we need to do.
I think it may be, and all I can say at the end of the day, Art, is so long as I still draw breath, I will let no harm come to you again. I will not let you out of my sight like that, yeah?
Well, that goes the same for you as well, and everyone else here. I don't want... We've already lost one. I don't want to lose any more.
Same.
And Eden will just kind of takes Art's hand and like walks towards the bookshelf, kind of encouraging Art to not like crowd
Distraction.
Finara. Yep.
So, what kind of arrangement can I help you with?
Well, first, I think I got a little bit of understanding as to why you probably are interested in the death of your sisters. Were they always your sisters? Were you always someone who carried the crown?
They were always my sisters, yes. I've always won. I've always carried a crown.
Insight? Can I?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Give me an insight check.
Okay, to be fair, I got a nat one, so I wouldn't. No. I mean, usually I'm right about things. I kind of notice things about, I don't know, little things here and there. So
And
you've always been a prince?
A prince? No, I have not always been a prince.
Oh, sorry, I didn't make myself clear earlier with the
No.
crown situation. But yeah, that's kind of what I was implying.
No. The crown I wore was one that all of my sisters wear.
Oh, so you said that they took your position and you weren't too happy about it.
So, what Theinrith didn't explain, and like you could see as he says this, he looks out the window toward Theinrith again for a second. The process in which my mother ensures that her line is successful and continues is not by the way that you humanoids would procreate, I guess would be the best way to say. In order for the next Ice Queen to be born, the prior one has to plant a seed. Not like a plant, but he holds up Ivy's shard. When there is a soul, a spirit that is powerful enough, has the right temperament in which my mother is needing for our family in the moment, she builds a snowman and plunges the shard into its heart. The snow melts, and a sister is born. A princess is born.
I guess I'm trying to understand, when you were mentioning Oak earlier, are you trying to exchange Oak as this potential princess?
Well, that was part of my initial plan, yes.
But then how would that benefit you if you are trying to, or you're upset with your sister's power? To give another sister power?
I was hoping that if I could present her with the ability to create a daughter of... I don't know how I would describe your friend. A daughter with heart, I guess would be the best way to describe it. But if I could give her the opportunity to create a daughter of such worth, then maybe it could remove the blemish that she sees me as.
What caused the blemish?
Simply put, like I said, every snowman who is stabbed with one of these turns into a daughter, a princess. Chose I didn't want to be one.
Who didn't want to be one?
And he's like sitting back and just goes,
Oh.
so I've had to
Well,
fight
now
my
I just
sisters.
support the Frost Prince. Like, god damn it.
So I've had to fight my sisters tooth and nail to get any sort of recognition from my mother, and she just bats her eye. She can just pluck one of those and have a new one.
Well, then why give her another one?
Because if it was a truly spectacular one,
You think she'd notice you?
and it came from me, I was the bearer of that shard, that she was able to create one that would be truly revolutionary for my sisters. See, we aren't like... We take on aspects of the personalities that are imbued into us. But it's really to give us life. But with Oak, I think she could have warmed the heart of whatever icy bitch she was turned into.
Let's see, but we kind of have an issue because we're already trying to get Oak's sibling.
I know, which is why I made the arrangement for you to kill 3 of my most powerful sisters, thus creating a vacuum between the sisters. Hopefully they'll fight and kill each other, and then I will be remaining.
Okay.
You cut off the heads. The body follows.
I guess I get where you're coming from. Well, then, what I'm trying to understand is, you said that your sisters have information as to what happened to the Lord of Bones' companion?
It's common fame. Well, most of us within my mother's court have some knowledge of what happened to Bonesy.
Who has the most knowledge, would you say?
Well, that would be
yourself?
Oh, I have... My mother would probably be able to tell you who. The who, what, where, when, and why. I could tell you the who and the why.
And what exactly is required to get that information?
My sister's heads.
Like, so that and to save Oak's sister?
Yeah, I'll give you the
situation?
Yeah, yes. I mean, I have 3 sisters. You're getting 2 things, so I think I'm getting the better end of the deal. But you're getting everything you asked for. Is there anything you specifically, and he kind of leans in and crosses his hands, or is there anything you specifically I can help with?
I'm just trying to figure out a solution, given the fact that I'm not sure if my friends, well, I mean, one of them seems a little gung-ho about it, but I don't know if everybody is willing to necessarily carry this out. But here's the thing. I care about all my friends. I really care about Oak. I've come to care for Oak very much. And I can't be in this world without my brother. I feel like me and Oak aren't so different with our motivations and such. So I'm just saying, would you be willing to let everybody go? And maybe I can be their shard instead. It's just in case it's like one of those if
so
things go south.
In the event that all is failing, in the event that the attempted assassination of my sisters is failing, you wish for me to intervene, take your soul, and kill my sisters with my bare hands.
I mean, it's an option.
Sure, we can add that to the table. And he just kind of smiles. And is that if that is truly what you want, I can add it to my to-do list in case of emergencies.
Or, I mean, would you say that the Lord of Bones is very fond of your family?
Lord of Bones is really fond of a whole lot of anything.
But I'm just saying, as far as, are there certain people who just gets his goat. If he had a goat. I don't know if that's how that phrase works.
He's kind of, he's an archfey and a lord in his own right, but most unseelie see the Court of Autumn to be the lesser of the two. I'm sure he would love that his court was elevated from something.
Well, have you ever talked to this Lord of Bones?
Myself, we've talked in passing a couple of times, but very formally. Fey balls and things.
Would you say that you two, I don't know, maybe you don't, you're I won't say friendly, but not like opposed to one another. Like just saying, what if we perhaps,
perhaps what?
I mean, maybe, if you both want the same thing, I might actually have a connection, another type of connection to the Lord of Bones. I'm just saying. So maybe you wouldn't be the only one in the battle against your sisters. Especially since you said your family has information.
You are now attempting to get the Autumn Court involved in affairs of the Winter Court. Are you attempting to unsettle and unravel the very makings of the Unseelie Court? Is that what you're trying to do? Foment insurrection?
I don't believe that I don't even know what insurrection, not sure if I understand the context. I'm just saying, what if there was a uniting of the courts, maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking that why do you guys have to be, opposed to one another? I mean, autumn comes before winter, and then, they're both equally beautiful in their own right. Right?
You say right to yourself, like you're the only one in the room with him. You're like, right? And he's just like, yeah, I mean, I guess.
It's very she's trying to go this thought process of
I just want to say there's an oak angel and an Eden devil on your shoulder right now.
Yeah, Eden is going, yes,
I think
destroy them all.
Anarchy.
Right, everybody needs to be the same.
Really bad idea.
Yes, join me, Thanara.
No, really, we should think about
we will
this
rally them together.
I really don't want, your friends don't want you to sacrifice yourself.
You guys were looking through the window. Fanara's getting really animated when she's talking and
yeah, just like
and Eden's going
doing this, but it's not.
She's starting to look like Charlie.
It's
starting to look like Charlie Day with the thread poster.
Yeah. And Fanara, I'm pretty sure that the prince would get that. Fanara's very aware of what an insurrection is. It's just that. She's trying to act like she's not suggesting what is probably being suggested right now, to the best of her ability. But it's at the same time, the intentions are.
We just need one new archfey to rise up. I'm thinking under the name the Grand Unifier, something like that can come in, bring all of the courts together under one boot.
I wonder how Eden would feel like. Oh my god, no. Don't do that.
I think that this...
I have a way to reach out to if we want to have a conversation.
I mean, I would love to have a conversation with him. I think that if he was willing to do some things, maybe some regicide, I think we would maybe have a deal.
But this would mean my friends would be safe.
However, this was not my idea. Yeah. I mean, listen, regardless of whatever
and my brother
deal we make here,
and sister, Oak sister.
You have a sister? I mean,
no, Oak sister. That's what I'm saying. Oak sister. My brother will be safe, and my friends will be safe. But I am offering myself as how do you put it?
He is
collateral.
He holds his hand out flat in front of you. My dear, Finara, wasn't it?
Anar Valar. Yes.
Finara Valar. I will do everything in my power to protect Oak's sister. At this point, the service you will be doing for me outweighs what I was planning to do with her. However,
Does? But I need to make sure that my brother also too will be brought back.
well, do you have the power to bring him back?
Lord Bone said that if we provide information, then well, yes,
He can read.
he can live.
Well, you're getting information as well. You'll be able to leave with the shard and with that information. And I will be able to watch as this palace falls into disarray and potential ruin. That deal has already been struck, but if you're giving me an ally in this fight, by offering me a way to connect with the Lord of Bones and see if he would be willing to maybe come over and have some fun, then I will make sure that you and your friends, in the event that this all goes to shit, will get out in one piece.
Will you promise?
He kind of looks down at his hand.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
I feel happy.
What would Perrin say, Finn? Perrin wouldn't want this.
He did.
He said insight, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Luckily that is that's a 21.
A 21. He's being honest.
All right.
I would like to add a note that while during the span of this conversation, I
Yes,
will be
we're gonna go back.
ritualist-
We're gonna go back to everybody else.
Well, I'm
here in
just
a
letting
minute.
you know, like, as that started, I will have been ritualistically, like, while Art is, like, prying through books or whatever, and Eden is sitting, I will be ritualistic casting augury.
Okay.
I think, meanwhile, unfortunately for how I'm feeling about this situation, I think Oak is way too wrapped up in her head to know what's going on.
Okay. But hand outstretched. And as you put your palm on top of his, he kind of puts his hand over yours. And for a moment, your hand's like, normal hand temperature. And as that second hand, it gets a little cold as your hand is on the top of his. And when he puts his second hand over the top of yours, you feel bitter cold set in. Something you've never felt in your whole entire life. I mean, you've been cold here in the Winter Court, but you haven't been cold. And when he removes his hand, you can see ever so faintly on the top of your hand what looks almost to be like a crown. Similar points and jagged edges as his. Just kind of frostbitten into your hand. We have a deal. That deal is binding until you uphold your ends of your arrangements and I uphold my ends. After that, this, and he nods to the mark, will fade. If you are in trouble, I will know. Well, I already knew because Theinrith will be with you, but additionally, I will know.
So what's the situation with Theinrith? I'm just curious.
Once upon a time, Theinrith wanted something. I don't know if she really remembers or not now, but she did then, and I was the only one who could offer her the help that she needed. So we have an arrangement like this, a pact, if you will. And I watch over her. And she, in turn, watches over me from time to time.
See. All right. Well, were you trying to get in touch with the Lord right now? I mean, the process of me communicating with him, I kind of have to dig into my own body to pull out a piece of himself that he put into me. But then I think that my friends might get, they might misunderstand the fact that I'm.
If you would like him to be here when shit hits the fan as an additional resource, then talking to him now would be most beneficial. However, if this is something that you wish to, as the flames are dying down, and hand over, I have no problem waiting. It's at your discretion.
All right. Okay. So, like, anytime, like, if I just don't want my friends right now, if I were to, to think that you.
Oh, I can, and he waves his hand, and that the glass there just completely frosts over. Also, no, and he does a quick wave and wave, so you can see he can frost pane the window, so that way if that was something you wanted to do right now, he could make sure you were comfortable.
And Fanar would go over to where there was a sharp enough ice shard. She would break it off, or attempt to break it off, because her strength is not necessarily the greatest. And try to get the old bone out of her body.
Sure. You go to grab it. You pull it out.
And she does heal. Like, I will definitely be like.
Oh no! The thing is it's less of like you are grabbing your rib and physically ripping it out of you, and it's more of you just kind of will it, and it just your skin folds back a tiny bit, and it just pops out, and you have the bone in your hand.
Well, here goes nothing.
You're handing it over.
Mm-hmm.
As you go to hand it over, and the frost prince touches it, you watch as the his fingers, you can almost see this layer of water form between his fingers as just set it on the table for now.
Oh, okay.
It's a little warm to the touch. Thank you. Unless you have anything, and he waves, and the glass comes back. Unless you have anything else that you wish to.
That's it for now. As long as you keep up your end.
Mm-hmm. I will certainly do all I can. A deal is a deal, after all.
Deal is a deal.
Don't overthink that. And as you... Well, do you stay or do you turn to leave?
Nope. She turns to go leave.
You can, as you reach the door, you can begin to hear cracking. You just kind of glance over your shoulder as that rib bone has slowly started to grow larger and larger and start to branch off, and you can see almost a full rib cage with spines starting to form. And as the door closes and you begin to make your way back to your friends, you turn and look through the glass. You can see a skeletal head and arms begin to, and the Ice King just kind of, or the Frost Prince just kind of does a welcome kind of gesture, and as you're realizing that this wasn't so much of a call and more of a summoning of the Lord of Bones to where you were. All right, now for the rest of you, because this took like a good, like, probably half hour.
Hi.
That was such a cool like interaction, though. That was so cool. That was awesome.
As you all settle in for your rests, is there anything in particular that you would like to do?
I was ritualistically casting augury.
Okay. What's the
and we
casting
had
time on augury?
11 minutes.
Okay.
Ultimately, because we had talked about kind of messing with what augury does a little bit. I have a question. Because obviously it's wheel and what, right?
How about you cast it and you find out what I've done with it?
Okay, that works. We can do that. Basically, I was gonna try to finagle with what we had. Okay, so no, basically to cast this though, Eden is literally pulling.
I've already thought a million times
Perfect.
about how I would use this with Eden. So
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, we're just pulling a couple of thorns and some of the things off of the crown now that is more thorny than it was, and just kind of like crackling it and letting it fall. Not quite like tea leaf reading, but it's just like if anybody's watching Eden, it looks like Eden's probably stemming, but it's like, we're just kind of.
What are you working on there?
Just practicing a spell to see if it'll do what they want.
Well, what kind of a spell?
It's supposed to kind of give good and bad luck, fortune, and just hoping that all of this will work out.
As Eden will like.
Yeah, Art's gonna kind of just like be like peeking over the book and kind of watching as this is
Like on the floor as she's like.
It's basically like, that whole thing where you're like trying to watch two things at the same time, like we're reading but also kind of watching.
I definitely like burp up a moth at some point and throw that into the mix,
What are you attempting?
Eden is wanting to know, that's why I was wondering how I could flavor it. But basically, my goal is to more or less figure out if like Lyran's feelings towards the Prince of Frost, if that makes sense. Like as it pertains to his goal.
Okay.
Like, and kind of willing what the knowledge that Eden does have currently of wanting to assassinate sisters and knowing the effects that can have, like channeling all of this thought and energy into like, this dude is talking about assassinating his own sisters, all of these things. Is this like helpful to us? Should I be weary? Like, that's kind of where Eden is like.
As you stare into this pot, or you stare into your cauldron. What is your cauldron, but really isn't, right? It's this big or this small ornate vase.
Thing, yeah.
But as you throw things in, you watch as it just starts to meld and concoct and slowly all kind of just form into one bubbling, mass. You see float up a pair of leaves, the wings of the moth, one on either side of where the leaves pop up, like on the sides of the faces, like here. And then a rose forms in the center. He's useful to my aims. What you are planning to do will be a catalyst for my return.
Understood. So be it.
Art, if you're watching this interaction happen, like, you look in and it's just like you very visibly see the rose like moving as if a mouth would move, right? The eyes making some sort of, you know, not necessarily furrowed, but like some sort of like body language. Art, you look in and you just see like a couple of moth wings, this like couple of like not even like a full rose, like a bits of a rose petal, like a couple of rose petals, like just kind of floating at the top and like leaves floating. And you hear her say those words and finish it with "so be it."
And then I think Eden's gonna prick her finger on one of the thorns and just kind of like drip it in.
You
Did it work?
Yeah.
I think so. I think it's a good sign, actually, going forward. I think this is actually going to be the better solution. At least to accomplish our goals.
As long as no one else gets hurt. Of the people that matter, I mean.
Yes, we can. I promise, we do our best, and I think we will be all right.
Does anything else happen with that as like Eden finishes up the spell?
When you prick your finger and drop the blood in, you notice that while the spell is like fades prior to that point, when the blood hits, it's almost like in response, the cauldron bubbles.
Until next time.
And then Eden will kind of like put the cauldron at the side and go and sit next to Art.
What are you reading?
I don't know, DM. What have I been reading this whole time?
Make an investigation check. That'll determine what you're reading.
Oh God. Like Eden comes to sit next and it's just like a very 18 plus graphic novel and it's just like, oh, never mind.
15.
15. What languages do you know again? Remind me.
I know Common, Dwarvish, Gnomish, Goblin, and have a very elementary level understanding of the Sylvan that I have been learning.
Okay. This book is written in Common, but you can see has annotations in Sylvan. It looks to be the study of the Shards and you can see like written ever so often the initials. Oh my gosh, what initials did I get? What the fuck were his initials? Pull up my notes from like a bajillion years ago. I believe it is ST is what I used. The Fae that you pick up is talking about how make a intelligence check, just a straight intelligence check.
Got a D4.
Oh, I got a D4 on top of that? That's gonna be really good then. That is going to be 26 total.
26. So you, in this moment, it's like that weird like math symbols become understandable to you with the Fae language. And as you like begin pouring through this and reading annotation after annotation after annotation, the one thing that you understand is that there are two ways that this can be reversed or broken. The first is the death of the host body. Right, so whatever, if the body of the person whose spirit has been displaced dies, then the shard becomes vacant again. The second way is if the shard is, at least according to the wording of it, is like is superheated. What that means is kind of lost beyond you, as the translation isn't like your again, still very new with reading and writing in Fae. So even a 26 gets you that second part, but not necessarily the full interpretation of superheated. And then for
So
the
just-
full
just-
yeah, go for it.
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, just for clarification, and I don't know if this is something that translates, but when you say reversed or broken, does that mean like it undoes it, or it just like destroys the crystal or something?
Well, the first would be that it undoes and leaves the shard vacant.
Okay, got it.
The second one, you're not quite sure. And two, for everybody, because not everybody was privy to the full explanation of what happens. The book explains that when the Ice Queen, it's like almost an in-depth, like step-by-step process of how the Ice Queen creates ice princesses. She selects a shard. She then will build a snowman. A very simple, just boom, boom, boom. Not even like go on and put a note. Like she doesn't do the whole like charcoal and nose and top hat thing. It's literally just three little
Boring.
balls. Yeah, I know. It's like, yeah. I imagine at one point when she had like no daughters and like she probably had fun with it, but now it seems like she has 1 million daughters and like doesn't care. She's like, I want another one.
Yeah,
Fine.
like, and she makes some like they're really skinny, and then one of them she made the bottom ball too big, so they're like super thick with like 3 C's, you know.
And then she shoves stab the shard into the chest of the snowman. The snow will melt, and in its place will be the princess. The writer notes that all of the princesses don't have an identical kind of look to them. They all have aspects of look, personality, like traits even of the host spirit, while still having their own, kind of, they have their own, they are their own person, but with some of the things that they carried over from whoever was, whatever spirit was used to manifest this body. So he makes note of like there are definitely half orc, like there are ones that look like half orcs. There's ones that look like elves or Eladrin even.
Does it make note of how long she's been doing this?
I would say your best judge is that when you're reading this, it has a note of there are approximately 52 daughters or ice princesses within the court. You don't know how many there are currently, but as of when this note was written, and the queen under that reign would have been Noelle.
Noelle. Apparently, this has been an ongoing process for quite some time.
Really?
Well, according to this, there have been, at least as of the printing of this book, there's been about 52 daughters created using this shard process.
Steinrith, have you ever witnessed one of these things?
You're muted. But yes, you would have been privy to a couple of them. Yes.
Yes, I may have seen a few.
What does it look like? Is it like fun? Does she look angry?
Feel free to
She's
say whatever
taking-
the fuck you want.
Does she look like she's taking out frustrations?
I mean, every now and then it's a good outlet, and she'll get a little aggressive, but who wouldn't?
True. At least that is what my sisters always said. Spare the rod.
What?
Oh, my sister, they would take out their aggression on me. I assume the same.
Why would you spare a rod? That doesn't make sense.
They said spare the rod, spoiled the. Well, they used other words, but essentially child.
What does that mean? Spoil? How would that? What?
If you don't beat the kid, then they're bad. Is that not what it's... Look at the pretty pictures in the book, though. It's like Eden will look down at the...
That was a concerning little conversation. Yeah, that's a cool book, and I'm gonna kind of just walk away.
Hey, it's not like you haven't been punished for your mistakes
Yeah.
with corporal punishment.
Thynrith. Justice for Thynrith. That's when Eden, like, subtly slides over a pamphlet of, like, have you considered going gray? Consider the benefits of having no real alignment and being able to completely overthrow all court alignments.
Wait, does this book explain the entire process, or is it like first-hand notes of people who understand it, or is it like second, third-hand accounts of people who have researched, learned, and then documented about it?
No,
I
it's
actually had a question along those
it's a
lines, too.
it's a it looks as if he was writing about it for his own, like, not personal use in terms of like learning how to do it himself, but like a understanding of how it worked from a historical, for historical perspective.
So aside from probably the queen herself, this would probably be considered one of the most accurate representations
Which is
in terms
why-
of like someone who, right?
which would be why somebody whose initials are ST does not have it in their possession.
Two more questions regarding this. If
Go for it.
if this information is in there. The first question: does it explain or make clear if during the process of this birthing, if the host soul is like consumed or essentially rebirthed into this person in like a permanent sense? Like, is the original soul like no more, or is there an? Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. That's your first question. Yeah.
And the second part to that is well, essentially kind of as a follow up to that, which is basically, is this process permanent?
Yes. And yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
And like the book is,
And it would note too that when that process takes place, the body, which could be anywhere on any plane, does not matter. The connection is still kind of lingers and stays. The body immediately ceases to be in that almost like ice-like comatose state and just flatlines.
so ultimately we were not able to discern from the art's immediate research a way to actually clearly undo and revert the soul or whatever into the original body.
There's a superheated version, but you don't. The notes for that don't go into depth of like what happens to the soul or body afterward.
Okay.
Whatever happened with that likely didn't result in him seeing that portion.
And my interpretation is that essentially this can be undone prior to the, I don't know what else to call it, but the birthing process. But once the birthing process has taken place, it is now permanent.
Correct.
Got it.
Does the notes on superheating seem similar, familiar, or identical to the notes on superheating that we had to use to get the ooze out of us?
That has been
Ooh.
so long.
That has been
That
so
is a
long
good
ago,
question.
and
Yeah.
that was so long ago. But that
That was
also was
like-
not that was also not in Fae though.
No.
Just curious because it's all within
no.
the same neighborhood, so I'm
No.
just gonna go over my
if,
notes.
but if
No,
there was
no,
a
no.
connection, that's something that Art would have
That's
remembered.
honestly, that's a dude. That's a good for you. You know what? Give yourself an inspiration die for that shit. I don't even
wow.
give the fuck, man. That's a Jesus. That's a big brain question right there.
Very specific. You said superheated, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yep, I was like, wait a minute. Oh my god.
And I was like,
Listen,
yeah, I remember
So
Corvus
all
in the
we
fire
have to
tornado.
do is go burn Oak's sister, and everything's gonna be great.
It worked on me.
No.
That's
Yeah,
what
no.
we did, guys. You remember this, right? We almost killed Hell. Like, remember that, guys? Right? Remember? We lit him on fire a whole bunch to see what would happen. That's how that went.
I was not
I still have the
present.
burn marks.
Just throwing that out there.
Went really well.
So the idea is the superheating would, because I want to make sure I get this. The superheating, unlike the other one of breaking it, seems to undo the shard, but unsure of what happens to the essence captured in the shard.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. Yeah, it seems to have like completely melt or eviscerate, break, however, whatever melt would be the best word, but it would melt the shard, and then there's just nothing left. So there's nothing to observe. There wasn't an instance where the body was there, and that happened. So, yeah.
I have
unclear what happens then.
Correct.
I know this is going to be a long shot because I want to make sure I do this right. Corvus's previous experience was specifically hunting mages of unknown levels of power, researching, studying, and knowing how they work. Is there a source of magic, spell, or similar effect that I can identify enough to then give me a point of research to better understand this process? This is going from not only my mage hunting, but also I have 3 parents that have focused in various forms of natural and magical remedies, treatment, and physiology. If any of those elements would help.
I'll give you an Arcana with advantage.
You'd be missing Rex now with his.
You have no idea how bad. That's a natural 20 for 22.
Well, yeah, if it was Rex, it'd be like a natural 40.
It would. Rex would be hitting 40s for no reason. He's like, reading? I got this. So that's a natural 20 for 22 on the Arcana.
I mean, I would say you have a suspicion that like spirits and souls are if a spirit or soul is not connected or is not like held or captivated, it will go to where it's supposed to be. Would be the best way I would say, or at least that's what you would have heard, right? Like from your parents specifically, you would have learned that a soul is tethered to a body. You need to like physically remove it or capture it in order to kind of separate it from the body. But if it was broken free from captivity, would be free to return to the body.
If willing, kind of thing.
Yeah, and souls are different than like humans. They can kind of wiggle through the cracks of planes.
So not with
not trapped.
opposite certainty, Corvus could discern that the idea of the superheating and safely melting of this shard would release the spirit, but doesn't guarantee it would make it back to the body safely, i.e. because somebody could try to snatch it.
Correct. Yeah, somebody can still capture it in the moment, like in those other moments, but yeah, something like that. Yeah. But
I would like to send all that information to 2 people to research.
Okay.
I would like to inform my mothers of this process and ask them to discover what they know of that process, but also see if we can ask Hale to do research, as well as if he can contact the collective that I had originally been contracted from, full of scholars that can get this information and utilize my deep well connections to emphasize the importance and urgency of this.
I will use your 25 words or less to convey those to those 2 people during this break we're going to take. And when we come back, we will resolve our rest and see where the rest of the night takes us. But we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. You guys do your things, we'll do ours, and we'll see you in a few, friends. Bye.
Taryn.
Oh, it is.
I like that Megan is like getting on to me now. I have not been held accountable this far, and I will not be held accountable now.
Fey
It's
balls.
about
Yes,
time.
Fey balls.
They have. I heard Faye have the
Feyballing.
greatest balls.
Taryn, would you say mothballs?
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Moth daddy balls?
Stop. Now I have to imagine. Damn it, I just imagined it.
Hashtag ACDC.
Fuzzy,
Enjoy.
fuzzy mothballs. Anyways, let's continue
You
forward.
invited me here.
Fine, Rith.
See?
You notice the rest beginning to settle down. Kind of forming to pull out, a little bit of, oh my god, your sleeping bags and stuff.
How
to
long
prepare
are we
for-
resting?
I don't know. How long are you guys
That's
resting?
we
That's
need
a
to
very good
solidify
question.
Yeah.
this because there have been like as far as on a scale of spell slots, I've used 3. I can't even BS my way through that one. I'm doing
Listen,
I've used
mediocre
all my
on
level
health.
2 spell slots, which is my highest spell slots.
Okay.
The only way I can recover anything is a long rest.
I would like
I'm
to
at full
say
health. Yeah. Mhm.
that I keep being sad that everybody's doing awesome, cool spells, and then I remember I'm the only one with a short rest, and I'm fine.
Yeah,
You're like,
Everybody's
"My
like,
key
I need my
points?"
spells, and I'm
I'm
like,
back.
let me just stretch. I'm back. Let's go.
I can, like I said, where I'm at currently, I will not be at the top of my game, but I am functional. My health is amenable, with a short rest, and I will also get my wild shapes back. So
I get
I'm
nothing
just,
on a long rest, so Corvus don't care.
Finn and Art, like I'm in the middle. I'm just saying, like, if we rest for a long time, combat will be hell, is all I know, because I can see Logan's face.
I'm missing a couple spell slots, but like it's not game breaking if I were to not get
It's gonna be a little rough for
If
Sounds
our
like I got no
healer,
spells. If
spells.
spells are, yeah, it's.
So-
I mean,
Me and
just
Steinrich
our
got this.
healer, our healer has no spell
I mean,
slots.
no. I have first level, but that's
Yeah, so the two most healing characters are pretty low on
Whoa.
magic.
Corvus has got a ton of healing.
I have the possibility of healing.
I don't use
just
them.
don't.
I have healing hands. I got monk healing. I got all kinds.
I mean,
I don't.
Look, I have a couple of first level spell slots left. We can, shove sticks of good butter down everyone.
I can, if I need to heal, I can. I just like making scary mothballs.
Somebody I think has the stick. Oh no, we gave up the stick of the hazelnut goodberries, didn't we? I feel like Perrin
The
traded that for
hazelnuts,
something.
yeah, Perrin did something with that. Shocker.
Yeah.
I do have a suggestion.
He gifted it to somebody, I think.
Thank you.
I think he gifted it to Lord of Bones, if I remember correctly.
Yup. That sounds about right.
Oh no, he gifted it to the tree.
Yeah.
The tree.
The tree.
We gotta rob the tree.
Stop.
In case you're familiar with the pledge, you might want to rest and make sure you're at full strength. This is not going to be easy.
Well, that settles that then.
Steinrich, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
So I understand why your brother wants this. What I can't stop thinking about is how his mother will react to this, because she's the one who has to break the spell on the shard, right?
As far as I know, the only way that I have ever seen the shards be dealt with or resolved is to be turned into her daughters. I have never seen another way that the soul is released.
Oh,
Not to say there isn't a way, but I've never seen another way.
right.
And I mean, obviously, this comes with its own risks, but if you are willing, this seems like the best path for you. He is going to be much more easy to talk to and on your side than the Queen will be.
Mm-hmm. Corvus, the first time I met you, way back when Art and I were prisoners.
Oh
You
yeah,
s-
right after you stabbed me.
It's like
Well,
Eden is
that's
like
actually
sitting
what I
there.
was about to bring up. You stabbed Eden because you thought Eden was turning into a monster. Is turning into assassins for the Frost Prince for what we're doing, is that right? Is this a righteous path?
I don't believe in what's righteous. I believe in doing what's necessary. Righteousness is used to guide you on code, morals, to bind you to an oath. Sometimes what is necessary is to break those same oaths so that others do not have to suffer.
Well, on
To
another
become
note, before you go too far, those souls were stolen to begin with.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Yep.
Go ahead, Corvus.
sometimes you have to become the enemy of the world so that it can keep moving.
It's interesting perspective for someone. So then what is a monster to you, Corvus?
Someone unwilling to sacrifice because they find comfort in their life while others suffer.
As Eden's hand will slowly like.
Then why did you stab me?
Because you were too scared to live your life, still bending to your sisters despite them not being around.
No, you stabbed me because I bit somebody's throat out, and I'm trying to see that doesn't really line up with your definition of monster.
You bit it out because you lost control over the fact of what your sisters have done. Now, you act to spite them because you believe now you can do something without them. So if you were to do the same thing, I'd have no reason to harm you. Because you are trying to save those of the gray, and before you were just mindlessly following what your sisters broke into you.
Should have been nicer about it.
It's like again snuggling further in.
At this point, Thynworth will go up towards the Frost Prince. Is he still? Are they still having like a meeting in there? Like, what's
Yeah,
going on?
you can see.
Yeah,
at this
also,
point,
do we just like
Yeah,
casually
so
glance up and
after-
see the Boner
so-
Lord? Like, what?
Well, first of all, Lord of Bones, you know, the first of his name.
You said it first.
I know.
It's stuck forever.
So when after a while, Finara comes out. You don't see it at first, but like as you look over, oh, they did. Thank you. You could have just said something, Eddie. No, I'm kidding. Thank you. Hang on, everybody. Wait, that
I was
didn't
trying
fix
to
it.
be
That
subtle.
didn't fix it. There we go. We're back. You're good.
There we go. Okay, I was gonna say I was Finara for a moment, and that was entertaining.
Yeah.
I was you.
So Finara comes back. Finara comes back, and like you start to see something forming, and then like maybe like 10 minutes later, you can just see the full form of the Lord of Bones manifested. And him and the Frost Prince seem to be having some sort of conversation. You don't know what, but
Nahara, what did you do?
I just spoke with them, had a discussion.
And the Lord of Bones just happened to show up in your discussion?
Well, topics were discussed, and it seems like he was interested in having a conversation about the current situation.
Then you're not very good at lying. Just be honest with us. You're our friend.
I
What's
won't
going on?
judge.
I think that Fanara will probably glance over to Theinrith, and then kind of look back at the group. Well, I can explain things. We've had a long day, so we should probably rest up and then
Oak is
discuss.
seeing you like hiding this. She's gonna walk right up to you. She's gonna take both of your hands in hers. Finn, you're scaring me.
Finn snatches the hand that had the crown. So the one, it's like whatever hand, I forgot if it was the left or the right. Sorry.
Presumably whatever you shook with, which would probably be the right?
What hand? Yeah, what hand would you
usually
have,
whatever you
what hand would
shaken-
you have like gone to shake hands with? Are you like?
Oh, I thought it was like one of the like I thought. I was like,
Which
sure
hand,
if it was
yeah,
right
but
there
even
or-
then, like if somebody were to do that, I would put my right hand naturally because I'm right-handed, right? So
Yeah.
like if Fanara's right-handed, it'd be her right hand.
Okay.
If it was left.
Okay, making sure. Okay, so if it's both hands, it's like a knee jerk reaction where the right hand would be snatched away. The left is still there, but that is that reaction and where.
Well,
she
if you
kind of
lift it up
catches
like
herself.
this, do I immediately
No,
see the
no,
black ground?
it's like snatch, like to like hide, like almost like to like.
She pulls it
kind
in
of-
a way in which to conceal.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah,
perceive
exactly.
it still?
I mean, yeah, that's the question.
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check, Fanara, and then everybody else can make
Okay.
perception checks.
Not
Hey.
just against my passive, or
Not
Passive.
not against your
Well-
passive. No.
My passive is good too, so.
No, sleight of hand to see how like casually you can pull your hand away without.
You rolled a natural 20.
Yeah.
Corvus.
This would be the time that you roll.
This
a
is
natural 20.
22.
Hell yeah.
22.
Damn.
Oh
Corvus
my
just
God.
got 27.
Fuck.
24.
Art's
I'm like, what is
the
enchanted
chance?
by the arrival of the Lord
I
of
only got
Bones
an
with a nat
18, but
1.
it sounds like other people are figuring it out.
So I would say
24.
so. Corvus, you got did you get a 20 whatever?
27.
All right, I'd say the two of you catch glimpses that part of her hand is like this frostbitten color, right? Like it's not like shining like nice and like shiny ice blue, right? Like there's like necrosis is setting in slightly to that area, right? As it's been just completely like frozen.
Just as like a aside, like getting that minor glance, not even gonna look further into it. Deals with the Fae. Makes sense.
Telepathically, Eden has more couth than that. Telepathically, Eden will just like, I get it. As like makes eye contact with Finn, will raise like their left hand that has like the obvious scar that Eden had referenced before. Leaves it at that.
I thought we were gonna be careful before making any further deals. We didn't want to risk possibly compromising our chance to help Perrin.
I don't think that Finn would do anything to jeopardize Perrin's fate, though.
She would just
No.
jeopardize her own.
Would you not do the same?
I'm not saying it was a bad decision.
But if something happens to Finn, then
And we will prevent it at all costs then. What do we need to do to protect you, Finn?
You don't have to worry about anything. I have everything under control.
Yes, but we're here to help you, Finn. This is not all your lonesome.
I know that, but if any of you had the opportunity to make sure that everybody will be all right in the end, you would take it, right? That's all I
Already
did.
have.
Finn, just tell us the terms. It's okay.
All I suggested was that maybe if they weren't on the worst of terms, Lord of Bones and himself can have a discussion about how to handle certain things. That
Finn,
means that you wouldn't have to. You wouldn't. the same thing that happened to your sister would, or at least you wouldn't be taken away from us. Oh, none of you would be. And then I'll get my brother back too.
So the terms of the deal were you just bring in the Lord of the Bones? Then why wouldn't you just say that from the beginning?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I know how concerned you all are, and I didn't
Insight.
want
I know, right? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Natural 20 insight.
to. Oh God.
You
You
can
know
either
what? I
do
don't even want to know.
so
I'm
you
good.
could do either persuasion or deception. You don't have to tell anybody which.
I mean,
when you roll.
but we know it.
I mean, we know
we
it's
all
gonna be we all know what it's going to be statistically. No, it's not.
It's a nat 1.
Oh.
Ah! Yeah, that's right. Oak is holding your hand, staring
So-
deeply
Don't
into
lie.
your
So it's a 2
eyes.
either
So-
way. It's a 2 either way.
So-
I'm
so
screwed.
here's-
And you
here's-
had a +4, Lizzie.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Is in this moment is Fanara withholding something from Oak.
Definitely the fact that she used herself as collateral. Yes. Like, so basically what she's saying as far as like, so they could talk, that's not like a lie. That's not a lie. That's basically like saying so they could discuss how to handle things. That was kind of Fanara's way of implying without saying out loud, because Thyroid's still there. But like, they have a discussion. Get it? And then, but she is holding back like obviously from the hand snatch, and like she's probably kind of has it kind of fiddling with her dress, trying to hide, that aspect of the deal.
So can we say with the nat 1 and nat 20, I am able to infer that she is using herself in collateral and the deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say you'd be able to infer, like, there's not much else to infer. Like what else would there, like, you've hit all the points,
Yeah.
right? Like, so the only thing that she could potentially be holding back is that she's using herself as collateral. Yeah.
Oak is gonna drop your hand. She's gonna put her hands, big hands, on your cheeks. And she's gonna put her forehead against yours. Then, oh, fuck it. And then she kisses you.
Oh, Fanara does not reject or pull back. It
That was not what I
happens.
was expecting.
So cute.
But I will say, like, in that moment, I feel like everything else kind of goes away. And I feel like Oak would feel where it's like almost like a desperation, like a kind of, but there's like a hint of like, it's like that hint of like needing Oak in that moment, but like there are tears that kind of start to fall that are like warm tears.
Oak's gonna feel that. I think she's a little misty-eyed too. So when she pulls back, she's gonna just try and wipe your tears a little bit. I got to talk to my sister in the ice. She was awake, I guess. And she asked me that if I had to choose between her and myself, that I would choose myself. And I told her I wouldn't make that promise because we're all going to go home together. All of us. You, Perrin, we're all going to go home. Even if someone dies, we are going to get them back. So, whatever deal you made, just know that I'm not going home without you, okay?
That's why I did all this. I can't bear to not have you in this world. Or
Goes both
as
ways.
something else.
So we're both going home together. Oak holds up a pinky.
Promise.
Theinrith.
Corvus walks away.
Yeah. In this moment, Corvus, you're not the only one walking away. Theinrith, you find yourself meandering back to that waiting room, the viewing room, as you would know it, where the Frost Prince is having a very lively conversation with the Lord of Bones. They're both sitting on either end of this sectional and kind of looking into the room and watching everything happen. You can see within the chest cavity of the Lord of Bones, who stands probably a good 1.5 to 2 feet taller than your patron. Inside the chest cavity, this corpse of small halfling. Shock of red hair, green vest, gold trim. So, you've sent them on an errand to figure out who she got rid of. He watches the Frost Prince just kind of nods, and I miss him. Felt like I had a fire in my chest once. Well, you see that half-orc over there? Yes. Well, you're one step closer. I promised them I would give them the information they seek after I accomplish a certain task. Or they accomplish a certain task for me. So, you'll find out at least who your friend was when they kill my sisters. But, I can tell you this. She's his daughter. He turns to you, Theinrith. Oh, Mum's the word on that one, dear. Don't want her finding out until she at least gets his name. Anything I can do for you?
Yes. Where do you wish for me to reside tonight?
I think it would be best. Well, I do love having you around. I think it would be best if you join that rabble for the night. Some socialization could do you good.
Come snuggy with Eden.
He says, plus, I'll have somebody else to protect me, if need be.
And who would that be?
He just kind of eyes the Lord of Bones. I need to keep him hidden until, whatever you do pops off. We'll make our move when you make yours.
I understand. Thank you.
Just know if we don't come rushing to your aid right away, it's because we have something far larger that we are handling. But we'll be there.
Well, I wish you luck. Stay safe. All of the things.
I should say the same for you, but seems like you have a good group of people who will be looking out for you, hopefully.
I don't know about that part, but they are a very good group of people, I think.
What the fuck
Yes.
are you mouthing, Jay?
I'm saying
Yes.
let me in. Corvus walked away. That's where I was going, so it's real
Oh, it's
awkward
you,
that
Corvus. You're just staring at. You're just at the window.
We're a totally good group of people not plotting the overthrow of
you can
all the
come.
courts.
You can come in, I guess. And he like just waves you. Can you get
Yeah,
the
so-
door and let?
like Corvus has been like, let me in. I'm trying to want to talk real quick.
All these people want my attention. I don't understand why.
So they let me in.
Thynrith, can you get the door, please? I'm sorry.
No, of course. Now we'll open the door.
Kind of like semi-aggro, like walks in, not like aggressively towards Thymeth, like is gently like, pardon me, and then continues the aggro approach in. Assuming that they're both in here.
Yeah, you walk in and
And-
the Lord of Bones and the Frost Prince are right there. Yes.
So I just pointing to the Lord of Bones first.
Sorry, I was yelling at my dog because he's chewing his bone. I didn't want that to.
Bones.
He has a bone and he's chewing on it, and now he's looking at me like, "What the fuck? I'm chewing on my."
The
bone.
Lord of Bones is like, where'd my leg go?
I found this
Sorry,
humorous.
bud. I'm sorry, bud. We're almost done. I promise. Then you could chew it all you want. You're good.
Oh,
I don't care what twisted agendas you may have in your own ways, for better or for worse. But I want to make one thing abundantly clear. Whatever comes of this, if it is not for the betterment of this place, and I mean the absolute betterment, I will personally bring down the fire of hells and everything I know upon you and everything you are, that you will wish death will find you. Thank you. And then turns and walks out.
The balls on that guy. Are you? And the Lord of Bones is like, he did not try the same thing with me, but that was because I had already killed his friend.
I wasn't there yet.
I may have misjudged this group just slightly, and then I will go ahead and I will bow and then walk out.
As Steinrith walks back in, we prepped a corner for you over there if you're interested. There's just a butt ton of like plants growing in the corner. Like Eden has been going ham secretly this whole time all over this place. Like just putting, remember how Eden did the trees on the table?
But you're making it bigger with the ice. I dig that.
No, I'm just like what it looks like. You know the little Christmas landscapes? Like now there are little fir trees like
Okay.
everywhere, and then the ice is like snow. I have made little topiaries like of just little trees across every wooden surface. Like anything that would be a wooden surface is like
Now a mini forest.
yeah, there's just little forests everywhere.
And I want to. So we locked in. We're doing a short rest, not a long rest. Is my first confirmation.
Yeah. You guys, we spent a good.
That's
30,
true. We
30...
went on that whole discussion and we never committed. I kind of thought the opposite.
We decided to go on a long rest because Thynrith.
Oh, right, because Thynrith
recommended-
said. Yeah.
Yeah, Thynrith said you get.
Which we trust Thynrith. But
I mean, it doesn't. I feel like our intuition would match that, right? It's just they sound scary, so we should probably be at full strength.
But yeah, no,
Which makes sense.
It's just like a wad of plants that are in the corner, but they're all like pale blue. Like we made a nest for Thynrith in the corner.
I just want to have a curiosity, understanding that the shards that were around, that ability to share memories, is that something that they just generally give? As like if Corvus went near, I'd be able to have the memory of like their final moments, or is that something that was only given in that moment?
Oak.
I don't know that Oak conveyed that.
You and Oak.
Wait.
Yeah, I don't know if necessarily because you didn't. Corvus, you were helping with the connection, but you wouldn't have gotten any of the data from that.
Yeah, I only know that
Necessarily.
Oak was able to do that twice because I think Oak brought up the fact that she saw
Her sister.
her sister. So like, Corvus is making the conjecture, is that something that's like, that's what I'm saying. If it's not something I can immediately tell, Corvus is going to be
You
willing
would
to
know
find
that,
out.
like in the moment, at least. she has a connection with that particular shard. So in that particular instance, she has a connection with that shard. So you probably wouldn't.
So as Corvus tries to go for a random shard, what happens?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, let's do it. 21.
21. Damn, I just had a really good idea, and then I was like, no, that would ruin everything.
Jesus.
I had like a weird ADHD moment where I was like, oh my god, this would be perfect, and then I was like, no, don't do this.
Send me into the memories.
No, you attempt to focus on the crystal, and like as you do, on at least on the surface level, you start to see some shifting and like staring into it, some shifting and some changing of like almost color within it, as if something's shifting and moving within. But you're not able to like truly connect with what's inside of it.
Okay.
You can feel that there's an essence. You can feel that there's a presence there, even to the point where you can tell that there's good within whatever lingers within this, but you're not able to draw yourself in or draw it out enough.
Okay. So last big brain move of the session for me. Corvus's intention is to go through each and every single one because Corvus has lived a numerous amount of lifetimes, meaning there's a possible connection to any one of these shards in any one of his many lifetimes. And Corvus wants to take any he has any connection to and study the moments of their death and understand how the shard works and also study each and every one of their techniques. Because what I remember is that the moment of getting the information was instantaneous, meaning it's like reading a book on hyperspeed, and I want to study everything.
So
as a sidebar to this, the moment that Art notices Corvus doing this, he immediately runs over,
Nope.
notebook in hand.
Eden will like just immediately catches Art and like pulls Art back down.
But
You need to rest, Art.
And
I've been wondering this whole time exactly how this works, and
I know,
looks
but
like we're getting a first-hand experience.
I
And
know, but
here's-
you know that Corvus will talk our ears off about this, Art. If you do not get rest, you're not going to
Exactly,
be
so
good
I can
for
take copious notes.
Art. And like we'll just start druid crafting like little just
Hold still for 3 seconds and you'll
And,
be passed out, I swear.
damn, I want to add one last note. I
Oh my
very
God.
specifically have that notebook that I've always had. I know I burned one of the copies I always talked about. I had a second. That second copy came for this moment. I had the feat for the ritual casting of wizard spells to have a book of notes because I've studied mages. I have comprehend languages, detect magic, and identify
So
to aid in my ability to
what I
study
will-
these things.
What I will say
Give it
is that I will allow this to happen.
to me.
Go ahead and roll a D100 for me. Oh, hang on. I'm sorry. Before you roll, or tell me what you rolled. So, if you do this, I'm going to let you know, and you can confirm whether or not you want to do this in this moment. If you do this, you will get a point of exhaustion. Hands down, you're not just lightly doing something, right? You're physically trying to use your ability to go into these, like to force either what's in there out or you in, right? And so that takes energy from the standpoint of like your own key. So if you would wish to still do that, go ahead and roll a D100 and tell me what you got.
Let's do it. Let's be exhausted, boy.
Art, go to bed.
That is a
It's like Eden is
68.
just like,
A 68.
Art
Okay.
is visibly pouting.
Yeah, Art, if you wanted, listen, Art, if you were going to stay up and take notes, it would be under the same conditions where you would be able to take notes and copy down any information that I give to Corvus, or that Corvus relays to you, but it would take a point of exhaustion, and you would not.
I'm not here for a long time.
You would not gain the effects of a long rest.
I rolled for it because boy, we would have considered it, but unfortunately, I think we're listening to Eden.
Corvus doesn't have sensibilities to listen
I was
to
just say
anyone.
with that the like Art is just like there's just little vines all over Art, and Art is like right here like with Eden as she's like laying down.
Corvus, this is going to be an off week thing for me. That'll be homework for me, but it'll be information that I get to you.
Perfect.
On everything that you can collect. And we'll talk a little bit more on the specifics as well, just so I can have I can get a little bit more clarity as to what I'm giving you.
Okay, yeah. Take your time.
Oak.
Not here to break it. I'm just here to make things
I know
complicated.
I know we're going so late. Hopefully this can be quick. You could also just cut off the answer, but I want to wait, the Lord of Bones is your. I have an idea, and then I think this will be like after Corvus maybe has the exchange.
Corvus like wanders off and like just grabs a shard, looks at it,
like
puts it back up, grabs another,
and then I would want to run into the thing, possibly dragging Finara behind me
into the room with the Lord of Bones.
With
and
the Lord of
Frost
Bones
Prince.
and the things.
Okay.
Finara follows.
Yeah. All right. Lord of Bones, sir. So we have a deal. You can see by bringing us here and having spoken with the Frost Prince, right? That if we fulfill his favor, you're gonna get all the information you want. So we will be more likely to succeed if we have Perrin back. Would you possibly consider reviving him early as an act of good faith so that we're more likely to get the information that you need? And she just like gives us a really smug smile, or like really proud smile at thinking of this idea, and like
how hard do you want this boss battle to? How hard do you want? Okay,
I just want Renee back.
Because then we can have Renee and Megan in the same session.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hang on, I gotta message Renee.
I mean, this is why you can leave the answer to the beginning of the next episode
Make a persuasion check.
No, in this moment.
Go ahead.
Because freaking Oak has been holding my hand and there was a kiss. You have been blessed. So you it's a bless.
You should have learned the ceremony spell.
I also love the idea that while this is happening, like Eden is like tuckered down, has Art. I picture Thynrith sitting down, but like also Eden like one eye open every time like Thynrith goes to fall asleep. Like for just a minute, there's just like a little twig that will like reach across and like just get the tip of the note. Like just as kind of like Eden likes to play games. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay. Oh, thank you for that inspo, Art. Perfect. Okay, I rolled a 4. Inspo was helpful.
You also have a guidance as well.
24 total.
God.
Yeah.
24 total.
Serious conversations are happening, and Eden is picking on Thynrith.
Oak definitely made a better decision than me.
Most winning smile.
Oak's trying to be like, let's put the party together, and I'm like, break me, fam. I got this.
Just
so we can tune in next time to find out if Renee is able to join us or if he wants to deal with 7 of us.
As you say this, the Lord of Bones stands up, looks at the Frost Prince, and I already said I have the answers that you want. They're going to do what I asked them to, contractually obligated, because, you know, Faye, and they're going to be successful, and you're going to get an answer. If it makes it any better, I will... I have things I can offer as collateral. I like them. The whole purpose of them being here is for a sister and a brother, so give them half of the deal.
Yeah, I'm not leaving without my sister, so.
No.
And you watch as the Lord of Bones grabs his sternum and rips his ribcage open like Blood Eagle and Perrin's body flops on the table. Let's see if he'll wake up as he places his hand on Perrin's forehead and begins in Sylvan reciting a ritual. And that's, I guess, where we're gonna pick up is whether or not Perrin comes back alive. So yeah, tune in next time on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. No, tune in next time on the next episode of the Ecriom expeditions to see if Perrin, Hope Singer, our sarcastic as fuck halfling bard, it will become not dead.
Yeah. Also, is Logan ready to GM 7 people?
I know
Well,
that is.
you know the beautiful thing though is the beautiful. Oh, hang on.
That's when he's like, actually, I'm unavailable for the next month and a half.
Like, sorry, but
Yeah.
I'm not here. I'm not home.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna get us off screen. Also, I won't
Yeah.
be on. I won't be on screen because we only have 6 or 7
we
squares.
we can fit another square.
Oh no, it's gonna be wonderful. I'm gonna GM from
The Beyond.
The shadows.
from the beyond. It'll be great.
Beyond?
No, we'll
Oh
figure
my
it out.
God.
But D&D, it's D&D Beyond. All right. But we're gonna go out. We're gonna head out. You guys have a good night. Stay safe, and until next time, friends. Adventure awaits. Bye, y'all.